So about a month ago, I took this picture. The other day, Nathan Fillion took this picture. Now this can only mean one thing. That Nathan Fillion watches The Wolf Den. Just tell me, I need to know. Twitter.com/BobWolf. It has gotten a lot warmer in New York. Last week, I recapped the worst games I've played in 2013. This week, I'll recap the best games I've played in 2013. I played a lot of good stuff, so let's do this quick. Bioshock Infinite. The game was meh. The shooting mechanics were meh. In fact, I found most of the game to be pretty meh. I was playing the game thinking, what's everybody raving about? Until I got to the end, which was glorious. Everything that looked like it was relevant in the game came together in a beautiful, super long cutscene. Oh, that was cool. Oh, that makes sense. Oh, yeah. Oh, Next up, Metal Gear Rising. I had a hard time deciding which list to put this on. But you know what? The game was great. The story was horrible. Probably the most disappointing story of the year. But the gameplay was great. However, the original tech demo shown at E3 2010 looked like this game might have been a little better if Konami ended up developing it. Pokemon X is one of the best games of the year, and it surprised me a little bit. Now, to be fair, I haven't played a Pokemon game since Red and Blue. Not true. I played Ruby on an emulator on my phone for about an hour, or however long it took me to dump for a week. Anyway, I don't really know what it is about this game that I like, considering I don't like RPGs. I think what originally compelled me to get this game was that you can get 2 starter Pokemon, one of which from the original Kanto region, and all the Kanto starters have an additional evolution called the Mega Evolution. Pretty cool. GTA 5, one of the best games of the year, but not the best game of the year. Don't get ahead of yourself. The attention to detail in this game is just incredible. The cars make that real-life clicking sound when you turn off the engine. You can even take a selfie. Most importantly, the story is actually engaging. I've never wanted to finish a GTA game before, and switching between the 3 characters on the fly really adds a nice new game element. Splinter Cell Blacklist is what I'm currently playing. The gameplay is great. People give Conviction a lot of for changing the whole Splinter Cell formula, but I think that change was much needed. The Conviction story was amazing, even though it was a total rip from 24. But I like 24, so whatever. Michael Ironside has always been the voice of Sam Fisher, but for Blacklist they decided to go with a new guy, presumably for facial capture reasons. Not like it matters, this new guy is pretty emotionless. Anyway, I don't like him. I want the old Sam back. Carlo Roto was cool though. You know what? He was also in 24. Fez came out this year for the PC, and it is great. I only played a little bit of it, so... Super Brothers Sword and Sorcery EP. Released for iPad in March 2011. Released for Android November 2012, but I only played it this year because, again, this is my list, and you. One of the best mobile games I've ever played. This game would never be the same on any other platform. The narrative of this game is the best part. If you haven't played it yet, give it a shot. Breach and Clear is another mobile gaming game. I spent a lot of this year fed up with my consoles, and I wanted to dive into the mobile gaming market. So Breach and Clear is a strategy game. You get 4 dudes, and you need to tell each of the dudes how to breach a room and murder all the terrorists in that room. It's a great game for the toilet. Sonic CD for the Android phone. I've always wanted to play this game, and when I got my Moga controller, it came for free. It's Sonic, so I don't have to say anything else. Ingress is a cute little mobile game for Android that uses Google Maps to place little portals around the world and track your GPS so you can walk over those portals and capture them. You choose between 2 sides, the Enlightened and the Resistance, and everybody in the whole world is fighting against each other as if you're in one big server. It's an awesome concept, but it's a little confusing at first, and it's not the best if you live in a rural or suburban area. Rural. Because you might have to travel a little bit to actually get to a portal, and I don't want to go anywhere. Last but not least, The Last of Us. My favorite game of the year, and one of my favorite games of all time. The story was glorious. Glorious! The whole game, I had my own speculations on how it would end, but even when I thought I had the game spoiled for me, I was still totally surprised. It couldn't have been any better. The gameplay was totally unique as well. It was a third-person shooter, however, you had very limited resources, so you had to choose very carefully how you were going to defuse certain situations. For example, if you don't have enough ammo or melee weapons to face a conflict head-on, you can choose to try to sneak around it. The best parts of the game are when you have like 5 rounds in the gun and a whole bunch of bad guys attacking you. You have to choose who's worth shooting and who's worth fighting with your fists. Try not to miss, though. You could also intimidate people with an empty gun. The mix between human enemies, zombies, infected, and clickers really adds a lot of variety to the gameplay. You know what? Zombies. They're f***ing zombies. Even the fact that you never had an automatic weapon until the very end of the game kept the gameplay varied so it never felt stale. Love it. Love this game. And it got f***ing robbed at the VGAs. Next week I'm going to keep this going. I'm going to do the most anticipated games of 2014. Subscribe to see that. Subscribe to see that. Subscribe. Glossy paper doesn't do the same thing that regular inkjet paper does.
Like if you like, subscribe if you really like. Thank you very much. Have a good week. Follow me on Twitter at Pablo.
Now, to clarify, I don't really play bad games, and I'm sure there's a lot of you out there in the same boat. There's a lot of resources available online to determine whether or not a game is going to be good, and I'll be damned if I spend my $60 on a flop. We heard about the YouTube copyright stuff, and we were a little disappointed we've never been flagged before.
Yeah, so we was like, let's try and get flagged, see what happens.
It came for free with my Moga controller. It came for free. It came for free.